This episode is brought to you by Americas Rehab Campus. Get on the road to recovery with the best rehab in beautiful Arizona. Dial 1-833-272-7342. That's 1-833-ARC-REHAB.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the ARCast.
What is going on? Good morning, world. Thank you for tuning in to the ARCast. My name is Buddha.
I'm Vance.
And we are here again. I got my good friend right here. This is actually a very special episode for a couple of different reasons, man. First things first, I got to say this. This is our Thanksgiving episode right now. All right? You like that, bro? Let's do one more.
Yep.
Happy Thanksgiving, brother. And ladies and gentlemen, give it up to my homeboy, Jesus. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? I'm doing good, bro. Thank you guys for having me. I'm honored and I appreciate it.
Dude, I love it. You know,
Appreciate you.
Yes, we definitely appreciate you.
Since it's Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for you guys. So.
Oh, I like
There you
that.
go.
Wow.
I'm thankful. So there you go. Vance, what's something that you're thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Wow. Let's see. Let me think about that. You should ask me that before I had a chance to answer.
I was laughing right now before we started the episode because I can see Vance coming into the office, right? And he said, I love it. I have to say, some dude's like, hey, what's up, Vance? What's going on? He goes, Jesus. I said, yes, sir. That's
there
what's
you
up.
Go.
He has so much passion in his voice, man. So
Ask that question again. I got the answer.
All right, what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving?
Jesus.
There you
There
go.
you go.
There you go, Jesus. Amen. And for me, I'm thankful to Jesus. I'm thankful for that car ride we had yesterday. That was a fantastic ride out to Scottsdale. And I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for everyone. If you're out there today, let's focus on gratitude. Let's focus on
Yes.
what we're grateful for. So we could all be grateful for something, right?
Yeah, we should at least hopefully be grateful for something.
Yeah, absolutely. And if not, hopefully this podcast will make you feel a little bit more gratitude.
There
so,
you go.
So what's going on with you, Jesus? How you doing this morning, bro?
I'm good, man. Just been hanging out. Woke up this morning. I was kind of nervous. I don't know why. I think it's probably because it's the first time I've actually said my testimony
Oh, really?
in a setting.
Uh-huh.
A couple people been asking me to speak during NA and things like that, and I don't know. I don't like to feel like the center of attention.
Yeah.
And stuff, especially here, because it's not anything like that. So I just kind of step back and be like, nah, it's all about you. Come on, let's figure this out.
I'm so proud of him because what he's saying actually is the very thing that God said we need to do. We need to humble ourselves. And so you
Yes.
know what? The position that you're in is perfect because you're making it about everyone else instead of self.
Yes.
God bless you for that, man.
Yeah.
Man, yeah. So like I said, I'm still a little nervous, but I'm open. So
Well-
You just reminded me being that former professional athlete, when I first got clean, everybody wanted me to share my testimony all over the country. And guess what I was? Nervous because I wanted them to hear about my touchdowns, not what I was really getting ready to tell them.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So I was right where you were.
Yeah, that's good.
R.
That's good. I remember when I think it was when. How long have you been here now?
I've been here for I just hit a year on the 27th.
Really? All right, man.
Congrats,
Welcome,
man.
brother.
We're gonna hit that one more
yes,
time
yes,
for you.
yes.
Yeah, on the 27th was my year. So
All right. Yeah, I remember being in the gym and you had told me that you were in recovery. I had no clue. You're very, very quiet on that.
yeah, like I said, I just don't like to. And I've been in recovery for 12 years, so I just kind of
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
You're my hero. I'm 9 years.
Congratulations,
Thank
man,
you.
for real.
That's cool.
So that's why I kind of just the way I say it is I'm a facilitator for everybody's recovery here, and it's not about me and what I'm doing. So
How old are you, young man?
I'm 34.
I was getting ready to say, you know what? You're about my kid's age.
Yeah.
So how old are you?
34.
34 years old. So I'm here with my sons, guys. I didn't get clean until I was 50.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And you got there, bro. There's a lot of people that just don't. God rest his soul. My dad, bless his heart, he never made it out, man. So, it's just one of them things where I'm just so thankful. And working where I'm working here, I just see it. And the best advice I can give him is, it's up to you. I can facilitate it and show you the light, show you where to go, but it's going to be up to you to actually walk through the doors, and I'll stand by your side if you want.
And thank you so much for that because you know what? Everybody has a choice.
Yes.
And he just proved it, guys.
Yeah. It really brings truth to that whole saying, you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah, no,
You
really.
can't make them drink.
Yeah, you can't, man. And I mean, it really is about a choice. It really is about a choice. And it's so, that's one of the things that I love about working here is just the environment in general. Everyone here is just, they've got something. We're saving lives, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir, on a
Yes,
daily
sir.
basis.
Yeah.
That's what we're called to do. We're called to not make it about self, make it about others and saving lives. And that's why God said your gift will make room for you. And look at this young 34-year-old and how many lives he's saving. Because God said also it's being written in the books.
Heck
What you're doing here while you're in your flesh.
Yeah.
And this is going to be what's going to be written down when you get there. Jesus is going to say, thank you so much for saving all these lives and souls, young
I
man.
got that Holy Spirit goosebumps right now.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's
For real,
good, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And it go, I'm so excited, man. So let's start from the beginning. Are you from Tucson, Arizona?
Born and raised, man.
Really?
Like they say, I was born on the other side of the tracks.
What's that you claim? I'm just
Yeah,
like,
right.
What neighborhood did you grow up in?
And in the Vistas, bro.
Oh, did you?
Yes,
Wow.
I grew up in the Vistas. We lived there for a while. My dad, like I say, my dad was an alcoholic in the beginning. Well, I say in the beginning of my life. Kind of experienced that. We moved a lot when I was, I want to say maybe 4 or 5.
Okay.
We ended up moving into like a women's shelter. We stayed there for probably about like a year and a half, and then my mom and dad ended up like reconciling.
Okay.
And back then we kind of came back, and everything was good for a while. I guess for what I thought was good. And then from there, my dad ended up getting hurt in like 2001.
Oh, yeah.
Slip disc, and he's the first generation of like the whole like epidemic of meds.
Oh, the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, all the opioids getting literally unlimited amounts of all this stuff. And that's actually how I ended up getting into it. So at 14, I'm complaining of a toothache and Tylenol's not working and stuff. So my mom's like, here, Miko, take this.
Was there any addiction on like with your mom's side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just been rampant in my whole family.
Okay.
All of us.
Yeah, like my grandpa was an alcoholic. Not really the females, but like the males on our side, like my side, have always just been, yeah, they like to party.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain it. And so then like 14, the first thing I ended up taking, well, I got tooth pulls, got on Vicodin and stuff. And then Vicodin, I was like, whoa, I kind of like the way this feels. And then from that
quick, huh?
yeah, it was, I was 14, bro. So like,
Yeah.
I felt different, and I'm like, oh man, I don't feel like the stress of the world type shit at 14.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't like the best athlete, but I played basketball, I played football and stuff. So coming home sore and shit like that typically is when I would just like take stuff. And at first it wasn't really anything. And then when I got introduced to like morphines and oxys and perks at 14 is when everything kind of took a turn. And next thing you know, I'm downstairs at my house in the first of the month when my parents get their scripts, and I'm in each bottle getting handfuls.
Jeez.
And they don't realize it because they're getting ridiculous amounts of these scripts and stuff.
So let me ask you this, because this is one thing that I've seen a lot growing up, right? And I don't mean this in a bad way, but I feel like so many of us, especially with the generation, I don't know if it's just Hispanic culture or if it's just the world in general, but we trust our doctors so much to the point where they like, oh, well, yeah, I'm a doctor. I went to school. These opioids are not going to hurt your son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give it to him. That's
Really?
fine. Oh, morphine? Yeah. I mean, it's not heroin. Here you go. Give it to him. Do you think that you fell victim to that? Like your family trusted too much?
Oh, yeah, because my mom, before she gave me a morphine, she asked me how much I weigh.
Okay.
And I weighed the same amount as her, and she's like, oh, here, take this, you'll be fine.
Oh, man.
And that's kind of just, again, that was like the start. And once I got that, and I was like, oh, shit. And then started taking handfuls, and the next thing you know, I'm at school and fucking...
In school? 14?
School, yeah, 14, 15, 16. So by the time I got clean, I was 21. And then, like, there's a lot of backstories and stuff like that. When I was in full-blown addiction and stuff, I was just fucking running amok, dude, running around, doing a lot of dumb shit, just trying to get the ends to get meds because so my parents were getting a lot, so I was able to start getting handfuls and things like that. Wow. That lasted a few years before then they started cracking down on everything.
Just to get you enough of a hooked into that life, huh?
But the sad part is like, and I feel bad because I don't like, I love my parents and they were really good people and stuff like that. And it like the way that it plays, the way my story at least plays out, it's kind of like makes you think that like my parents were bad, but I mean, they were caught in addiction as well.
No.
You know what I mean? So,
and so many other families are like that. I mean, dude, it's like that with food, bro. You know, nanas. Hijo, here's more tortillas and here's more rice and beans.
Well,
They're just feeding you all this horrible
I say that to say, like, once they found out I was taking these meds and like actually selling them to my classmates and shit, then they were like, wait, we can make money off this too? And then it just kind of like became a bigger issue and a bigger thing. And it was just like, it then became more of now I'm the person having to go get them stuff and bring them money back. And it was just like, it was such a weird dynamic at that age for me that like, I don't know, bro. There'd be times where I'd be sitting there and I'm literally asking myself, like, what am I even doing? Like, how is this like being progressive, or how am I being productive with my own life? Because again, I used to play sports. I was doing all this. And then when I was told that I can't play basketball at an actual high school and I have to go to an alternative high school based off my parents, that's kind of when I just was like, all right, cool. I'm going to become a product of my environment then. Goes back to a choice, having choices. And that was my choice. I thought that was the only choice I had at that time, was to just become a product of my environment. And I did it from 14 to 21.
Did you end up losing your father to an addiction?
Yeah. So my father ended up passing away in 2019. So I had gotten into, it's cool, man. I appreciate that. So I'd gotten into working in recovery centers I'm going to backtrack real quick. So when I got clean.
And how did you end up actually making that decision to get clean?
It wasn't really like, it was the moment of clarity is my best way to explain it.
Gotcha.
So what had happened was my ex-wife at the time, we were friends in high school. So she knew me in the beginning of my addiction. So I was still kind of able to hide it, still kind of able to do everything to where everybody just thought I was just a teenager running around. So she found me on Facebook and was like, hey, let's hang out. Like, cool, we go hang out that night. And right before she comes over, I had taken morphine. So when she shows up, by the time she's up, I'm nodding off, talking to her, like staring at my shoelaces, like just not there. And she was like, who the fuck are you, dude? Like, this isn't the guy I knew before. Like, you're not charismatic. Like, who are you? And I'm just like, man, being... Oh, what was me? Don't talk to me like that. And she ended up leaving. So I was like, whatever, went to sleep, woke up the next morning. And when I woke up, I played that whole situation in my head. And I'm just sitting there like, fuck, dude, like, what am I doing? Who am I? Where am I going? I'm waking up every morning to somebody knocking on my window to basically be like, let's go to work so we can go do stupid shit out on the streets to get money, to get our fucking fix for the day. And it was just such a repetitive life that after a while, again, I'm like, what am I doing? I've been doing this since I was 14. Like, what am I doing with my life? And texted her and was like, yo, if you can come talk with me, I'll explain everything to you. So she was like, thank God that she was like, all right, cool. She came over, picked me up, and I was just explaining my whole basically product of my environment. Like, this is all I've known my whole life, and I don't know how to get out. If somebody can give me an opportunity, I think I'd be able to thrive. It's not.
Was this the first time you ever expressed everything that was going on in your life?
Exactly. That morning was like, God was just talking to me and just being like, look, dude, what are we doing? I didn't bring you here to do this. Like, what are we doing here? And I may sound a little like me being like, oh, I don't want to sound cocky. I already sounds cocky. I truly do feel like God has put me here to help people, to show people that like we don't have to be products of our environment. We need to find our higher power. You know what I mean? And that's basically what I was being told that morning laying in bed. So then when I go finally be able to express this to my ex-wife at the time, well, my girlfriend at the time, gonna be my girlfriend, she's just so open to it. She's like, you're gonna come home with me then. I'm going to make sure you get that opportunity. And I'm like,
Wow.
there's no way. Like, you live with your parents. There's no way. And we go talk to them, and they were like, come on. We didn't tell them I was addicted. I told them I was homeless and I didn't have anywhere to go. I just got kicked out because she was trying to get me out of my sister's house because that's where everything was at. It was all.
So at this point, the relationship, even with your parents and stuff, had already started getting kind of.
It was
rocky.
already rocky. Me and my dad had already gotten issues and fights. My mom had already abandoned, like not abandoned, but she ended up leaving us because she had to go get clean and stuff. And it was just like such a weird time in my life where I was at my rock bottom and I needed a fucking guiding light. I needed a hand, and I was provided one, and I did not take that for granted.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 21.
21?
Yeah.
21 years.
I was about to be 22. It was 2010. I remember that. And then so I get, she brings me over, and I didn't tell her parents that I was recovering or coming out of addiction. So for about 2 weeks, I'm then now detoxing of 5-6 years of using. Ooh. And I'm trying to maintain my composure and shit. And like, I'm throwing up. I got cold sweats. I'm shaking. It lasted 2 weeks, and I kept telling them I had the flu because that was the best way I can explain what was going on with me. And yeah, that entire time, just bologna sandwiches and ibuprofen.
Man.
Yeah.
Did you have to use street drugs at any point? Like, did you stay away from the pharmaceuticals?
Well, that's also kind of what deterred me and made me start questioning, like, what am I doing here? Because like I said, they're starting to crack down on the on all the opioids and stuff. So then now everybody's starting to turn to heroin.
Yeah.
So then when I go try to find something, and they're like, nah, but I got some black, though. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then I went from downers to then uppers. So then I go from pills and then start using cocaine. And then now I'm using 1/4 ounces of coke a day and then taking pills at night so that I can go to sleep. Ooh. There'd be nights that I'd be laying there and I'm like, yep, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow. And then I'll wake up the next day and legitimately be upset that like, fuck, I have to live this life again. And then same routine all over again. That's why I say once I had that opportunity to be like taken out, I took it and I did not turn around. Like I did not turn around. I couldn't turn around because I knew if I did, I'm only going to end up dead or in jail. And I evaded jail a lot. So
that's good.
Death was coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so once I got clean, ended up I was working at IHOP as a dishwasher, and I was still like I'm still now trying to adapt to this whole brand new life, and now my entire mindset has to change because I'm in an entirely new environment with people who know me but they don't really know me. So I'm like, in a sense, trying to contain all my shit together.
Yeah.
And like have this facade of a person of what I thought I'm supposed to be like and stuff. So I'm working at IHOP, and then I end up again like having one of those moments where the me of not knowing how to maintain everything came out, and I ended up quitting, and I'm walking home and I'm scared because now I got to explain to my girlfriend's parents that I just quit my job. And in my past, it was, you're either bringing money into this house or you're not
allowed to live here.
Not allowed to live here.
Yeah.
So I'm like scared walking home, and I didn't call anybody to come pick me up because I'm like, in my mind, I need to figure out what's happening. And again, called on my higher power. Like, what am I supposed to do, God? Like, what's happening here? Mm-hmm. What move do I need to make next? And it's the middle of summer, and you got 5-6 school buses passing by me, and I'm like, all right, I guess I got to go back to school.
Wow.
Ended up going to school, got my GED, then became a massage therapist. And then as a massage therapist, I ended up meeting a gentleman named Pat Manley.
Okay.
And Pat Manley.
Was he manly?
Yeah. He's one of the manliest mans I know, I'll tell you what. No, but he would like, so when I was a massage therapist, he was actually one of my patients.
Okay.
So like we're working together and stuff like that. And then it was a while, and he finally was just like, I like how you conduct yourself and how you talk and stuff. Like, how do you feel about working at a recovery center with me? And he was about to just open this place up, and I didn't know what was going on. And I'm working at a medical center. So in my mind, again, I'm like, I have to play this part because I can't let the doctors know that I'm an ex-addict. And it's, for me, a lot of them would trip out on me because I would just clock in and clock out, do my shit, get out. And nobody really understood, because when I'm sitting at work, you go to a doctor and be like, I got a headache. And they, here you go, cut you a script.
Yeah.
And I knew how vulnerable I was. And I didn't want to go back, and I couldn't go back. And so like when Pat was finally like, yeah, come work with me over here and we can do this together. He was like, you'll be a BHT, or no, at that time it was a BHPP, which is a behavioral health paraprofessional.
Okay.
And so I was asking him, like, what am I doing there? And he's like, oh, you're just concierge. They'll ask you for stuff. And he didn't really go into depth of exactly what he was opening up and what was going on. He's just like, you're perfect for my company. Come work with me. So when I did my interview and I found out it was like a recovery center for drug rehab and PTSD and things like that, I literally just thank God, because I'm like, all right, now I don't have to hide anymore. I can finally, my past and my story can now help people.
Yeah.
And can show people that it is possible to live a certain way for so long, but you don't have to stay that way. It doesn't matter how old or anything. Like, you don't have to continue living those same, like we were saying earlier, those same generational curses that everybody else has been living for in your family for so long. And if you become aware of it and you're able to change it, like, why would you not take that opportunity?
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's scary. It scares a lot of people because it seems very overwhelming, but there's a reason why you become aware of being in those situations.
We were talking yesterday, Vance and I forget the actual scripture that you said, but you were talking about how God is with those who need him the most, like the ones down in the trenches that are going through some of the darkest times of their life. And I do know, and I don't know, maybe this is the difference. I'd love to get your opinion on this, but I feel like once you get to that point of your life, I don't know if it's humbling yourself but when you're able to cry out, that you can't do this anymore, you're not in control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do we move on from this? Like, I'm at the lowest part of my life. I need something, God. Like, I can't continue this. You say that he was throwing you, he was throwing you a little bit of love. There's some buses. You need to go back to school.
Yeah.
You need to change things up.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a scripture that talks about this. In fact, it talks about Christ because he had to pay the price for our sins, obviously. But before that, it said that he cried out. This is the book of Hebrews. It says that he cried out to the one that was able to save him from death. And it says he was heard because of his reverence.
Ooh,
and it said,
nice.
Although he was the son, he learned obedience through everything he had to suffer through.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly what this young man is sharing, how he had to learn obedience through the things he had to suffer through. And now the very thing he had to suffer through, he's using to offer hope to others.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Amen.
That's the real life right there.
That's cool.
Yeah, I know.
That's really cool, man. I love seeing that smile on your face.
Yeah, I get the chills because it's weird for me because like I never thought that it'd be like I'd be the one to be able to be that person to help people and be that person to where like even in my family, go to them and be like, dude, if you need the help, I can help you. Let's go do this. Like,
can I prove that to you biblically too? The Apostle Paul, who was killing everybody in the church, guess what? He didn't know he was going to be the one that was chosen.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yes.
And
everything you had to go through was all for a purpose.
Yeah. And
everything he was doing when he was persecuting and killing people was all for a purpose.
Yeah.
So that he can now go save them out of it.
That's true. And I think like you were saying, like, I feel like when you do cry out, God will show you little things, but it's up to us to actually be able to see them and understand them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, then it just again turns into like a "oh, woe is me" victim mentality, and like it's hard to get out of that. And that in itself is a generational curse.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It really
and
is.
It's just
bro.
so hard to change that mentality. And like I'm so thankful and blessed that I was able to just be taken out of the environment that I'm used to being in, and seeing the change of environment and seeing what, like, a different perspective of life. I feel like that's what helped me.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people, when they do come to, like, when they come to ARC and things like that, they have to be able to change their whole perspective on just life in general. Like, it's not that it frustrates me, but I get a little bit frustrated when people are like, "Oh, back in my cell or my cellie or my monkey," and I'm like, "Dude, it's your roommate.
It's your roommate.
It's your roommate." But I mean, I get it, because it's so hard to change that mentality. But it becomes one of the things where you're presented with an opportunity, and with this opportunity, you need to just change perspective, change mentality. The way that you would react normally out on the streets, now is the time for you to just be self-aware and be like, all right, this is what I would do in this situation. I'm going to do this. And when I have residents, clients here, and they do like, man, if I was out on the streets, I would do this. I'll literally be like, and I'm thankful that you are aware of that and you didn't do that.
Yep.
And because you did that and you are aware of that, you're already showing progress and change. So let's just keep working with that and keep going with that and keep moving in life. And
Watch this. You just proved something that just happened in a phone call that I had with my son the other day, who's still in prison.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to let him out in less than a month. And this guy came in his room and tried to beat him up in jail. And you know what he said? Dad, back in the day when I used to fight back, I would have to stay in jail. But for some reason, it just in my heart, because I just wanted God to help me. You know what I told that guy? Go ahead and beat me up.
Yeah.
It's okay. And he said the guy looked at me crazy because I wasn't the same person. So he ended up leaving. He said, and I know that was just the devil. The generations, the devil was just trying to come back to make me relapse so I can stay in jail.
Exactly. And it's just, again, becoming so self-aware and just so understanding of yourself. And so you understand, like, all right.
I'm going to let my son know I listened to your testimony and you validated how my son is going to actually be able to be a changed person now.
That's it, man. It's all just change. And the thing that I find funny is a lot of people, oh, I hate change. I hate change. But it's like, we need to change.
That's life.
We need to evolve. Everything's just constantly moving. Everything's constantly going. It's just a matter of surrendering and just being like, look.
That's real.
Yeah, God's got me. I know, like.
It's like, are you 6 years old still? No, you're 34. Well, guess why? Because you changed, bro.
It changed,
you didn't stay the same way.
Seriously.
You didn't stay the same way. And you know what's funny? Going back to what you said about I'm not with my cellie, I'm with my roommate. Yeah. Every single time you check a client and you tell them, like, hey, bro, it's roommate. They always go, oh yeah,
my bad.
It's roommate. Because they know they got to change. It's just you got to constantly remind them. And it really is weird too, going back. I mean, my brain just starts racing, dude, when we're having these conversations, because I go back, I remember things Vance said or things Ray said or Matt said. And it also reminds me of something that Ray said when we had him here the other day, is it kind of intertwines with Vance. When you're here, the devil's not always around. He leaves you. He'll flee away from you. So when you're here, there's a reason why people start opening up and thinking differently, because it's a very positive environment.
Exactly.
But then going into what Ray said, the devil's right there on the outside of that parking lot doing push-ups, bro.
Yep.
He's getting swole. Just the way that you should be preparing for your fight when you leave your residential. The devil's right there freaking hitting burpees.
It's waiting for you, bro.
Waiting.
It's like, it's cool. Do what you got to do. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
I'll see if you're really ready. That's the thing. Is there the opposition will always be like, we'll see if you're really ready.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And then that's what happens. Then when the ops show up, the opposition, the enemy, devil shows up and starts bringing turmoil and chaos in your life. As a former addict, we're used to being like, I'm not dealing with this shit, and going right back to what we normally did. So it's a matter of being able to see it and be like, not today, Satan. Not today.
And you know what scripture says that validates that? It says you need to learn to deny your flesh. Because when we don't deny our flesh, we relapse.
Yeah, literally, bro. Literally. So it's just that, just being able to, again, just being self-aware and understanding. And it's progress, you know what I mean? It's not like you're going to just do it overnight or in 30 days. I've been 12 years in this, you know what I mean?
Still struggling every day.
And I still, like there's days where I wake up and I'm just like, man, fuck this. Like,
I feel you.
Forget all this. Like, man, I just want to run away. But I also understand that, like, all this is happening for reasons. Like, like Vance was saying, like I'm going through the turmoil so that I can be able to share it with people who are experiencing the same things, to let them know, like, look, we can get out of this, dude. Like this isn't forever. This isn't a forever thing. And if we're in the mindset of understanding that change is good and constantly evolving and learning and taking in new things, like life becomes great, dude. It becomes simple.
Yeah, you're right. And I think part of me is one of those people who's not a big fan of change, even though I was so against it right now when we're talking about it. Because it is hard for me. I got to a point in my life where I felt like, I feel great. I'm doing, like, just a stupid example, but I remember at one point in my life, I had lost a ton of weight and I hadn't eaten horrible food it had been over a year. So when it got to like the 1.5 year anniversary, I celebrated by getting horrible food, and then it just created a downward spiral again.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that concept that change is constant and it lasts for your entire life. Once God finally speaks to you, or once you make that change and you listen, there's never going to be this perfection point where you're just this messed with person that doesn't have to deal with the devil anymore. You don't have to not fight anymore. You're just, you're there. Like the stronger you get, the stronger his temptation gets.
Yeah, literally.
And it's a hard concept. But then going to like the structures of AA and NA one day at a time, you can't look at the whole picture.
Yeah, literally. And that's even what I tell them too. Like, let's not even go one day at a time, because if we do one day at a time, you're still having to think about the end of the day. Like, I got to get to the end of the day. Now you're already future tripping. So let's just do moment at a time.
Yeah.
Let's just moment at a time. And when you do feel frustrated and overwhelmed, check in with yourself. Why do you feel that way? What's going on? Like, are you really upset with the situation, or is there something bigger going on that is making you upset at this little minute situation?
Yep.
And it's just that, like, because again, self-awareness, man, just constantly checking in with yourself. How are you feeling? How are you doing? Like, there's a difference between, for example, old me knowing I'm going to come in here and share my story and stuff. I'd been like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm down. And then day up, be like, sorry, Buddha, I'm not coming in, man. I feel nervous. I'm scared. I'm overwhelmed. Like, I let all these things take over me, you know what I mean? But it's just like, keep it simple, dude. I don't know where I was going with this. I know I had something, but.
No. But I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, those are old patterns that you had to break those patterns.
Yeah.
You're breaking the generational curses.
I'm attempting to, man.
BGCG, breaking generational curses gang, bro.
Yeah, there we go.
You like that?
Oh,
Sorry, Vance, that's loud. I apologize.
But literally though, bro, it's like it becomes one of them things where like it's easy if you keep it simple and you just take everything. That's where I was going, moment at a time.
Yeah.
Just take everything as it. Like, yeah, you might be nervous and you might be scared, but that just shows that that's what you like. That's what you need. Like you're nervous and you're scared because you're truly excited about what's about to take place. And we get caught up in our emotions and our feelings. So we'll just run with that and be like, nope, I feel nervous. I'm scared. I'm not going to do it. I'm running away. I'm not going to do it. Sorry, Buddha. Next time.
And for real.
You can't get caught up. Because even that, like, again, going to everything changes. Same thing with our feelings. They're so fickle and like they come and go. Like one day you'll be like, oh man, I love this coffee. And the next day you're like,
tastes like trash.
Right. Yeah. And that's just it, man. I'm going to say my biggest thing for me staying sober for as long as I have is just the self-awareness that I constantly try to keep within myself.
Yeah.
So I know what upsets me. I know what's gonna like, I don't want to say trigger because I feel like that word is like overused, but something's gonna basically trigger me in situations or places and things like that. And I'll consciously avoid those. And when they're like, oh, how come you don't want to come hang out with us anymore? I'll just be like, I can't. I'll speak my truth and be like, that's going to mess me up, bro. It's going to put me in an entirely different mind space of where I need to be.
The scripture says that too. It says, come out from among them. Don't go back and hang out with them.
Yeah, exactly, man. Literally, that's the truth.
Yes, it's the truth. And just like you were talking about the feelings and everything, you remind me back when I got clean and I started being that believer, I started realizing scripture says, don't walk by your feelings, you walk by faith.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. When I walked by my feelings, I relapsed over and over again.
Oh, yeah, every time. Because we get so caught, like, infatuated with how we feel. And it's like, bro, you're not going to feel like that in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Let it pass. Take deep breaths. Don't be impulsive and react off that first emotion. That's another thing I like to tell, like the clients that I work with. There's a difference between reacting and responding. When you react, that's all like intuition, gut, our natural reaction.
Yeah.
Where if you're able to stop and understand the situation and look at it, then you're going to be able to respond to the situation.
I like that.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
It's about being able, again, being self-aware to be like, there goes my, I'm going to take a deep breath, step back. And that was a conversation I actually had last night with one of my friends was, they relayed something to me and it made me upset. And instead of responding right off there, I was just, that's a lot of information to take in. Let me take some time to process it before I respond to you. And they were like, I've never heard that in my life. What does that mean? And almost took it as disrespect. And then 10 minutes later, when I'm able to go back and actually talk to them about it, and it's just, it was just a miscommunication at that time, and and yeah, it's just self-awareness, man.
Yeah.
Be self-aware, Buddha.
That's cool. Hey, hopefully every day.
People won't probably understand what I'm talking about right now, but he's taking me to the football field because there were certain guys. There was a guy named Lester Hayes. He played with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And I was always afraid to go out there when he was covering me because he was going to be doing some really bad things to me. And
Raider, dude.
what's that?
He was a Raider.
Yeah, he was.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know what they called him? Lester the Molester.
Oh, man.
He would throw me on the ground and poke my eyes out and everything. And so sometimes I wouldn't want to go run the route against him. But you know what? I didn't run off the field. I went and ran the route.
Yeah.
Even though I was really afraid. But guess what? In our recovery, it means we're going to be tempted to want to just run off and go get high again. But stay on the playing field. And that's your recovery.
Really, though.
You know those temptations are going to come.
Yep.
And Lester, I just saw him a couple of years ago when I was uniform inspector for the NFL out at Raider Stadium.
Nice.
And he hadn't seen me since he used to poke my eyes out. And he called me over and said, Vance, I need to apologize to you for what I used to do to you back in the day.
Oh, man.
So I hope your vision's all right. Man.
Yes.
Makes me think of that big player from the Water Boy. Remember that when he gets into the game, he's just like super huge, ready to just destroy him.
For real.
So the playing field of recovery is exactly what this brother's talking about right now, guys. You're going to be tempted. The enemy's going to do everything he can, but you got to stay on the field.
Literally.
Wow.
Just stay on the field and just know, look, dude, I got this, and I'm not my coach. God isn't going to make me run a route that he knows I can't run.
Nope, he already told you to run the route. Now you have to make a choice.
Exactly. Now it's
And you
just
know the right
going.
play to run, too, don't
exactly. Yeah. And I feel like it's that, too. Like, we already know. We're just afraid. Like, we know what we have to do in life. We know where we're supposed to go and what we're supposed to do. We're just afraid to actually acknowledge it and go with it, because 9 out of 10 times it's in our minds impossible, because it's something that we can't even like fathom to obtain.
Yeah, no, for real. I think. Are you good, Vance?
I got a guy reaching out for help.
Oh, you good? Do you think?
A few moments later.
Vance just came back. I know you had to take a call. How's everything going?
Back in the day, guys, I'd have made it about me, and I'd have saw that call coming in. I would have just pushed end, and I wouldn't have talked to that person. But like we talked about in the beginning of this ARCast and talking to my brother, we made it about who? Other people, not self.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate you guys letting me go out to talk.
Oh, dude, of course. Anytime. Is the gentleman going to be able to come through?
Yes, they said his insurance fits.
All right. That's great.
Thanks for letting me jump back on the field.
The first time I actually met Vance, he had just brought somebody in, and oh man, just seeing like the dedication of making sure that this person was getting the help that he needed. Yeah. So like just seeing that, like, yeah, Vance, you are an amazing human being, man.
Dude, and it shows God is working through you, bro. And we talked about this yesterday. You know, man, he's one of those people that just doesn't talk about it. He really is about that,
really.
man. And I've seen it firsthand.
And it's crazy too, because a lot of people be like, "Oh, you guys got a Super Bowl champion over there," and I'm just like, "Yeah, but you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't tell.
You wouldn't.
You
Exactly,
wouldn't, because like you'll see Vance walking randomly. They'd be like, "Yo, was that Vance Johnson?" Yeah. Like, yo, what? Like, yeah, you can have a conversation with him if you'd like.
Yeah.
Like,
Give me a 20. I'll introduce you. I'm just playing.
Yeah, $40, man. He'll give you a signature too.
That's cool, Vance.
In fact, if I had permission, I'd give them 20 to come talk to me.
I know he would. That's cool.
Yeah, but really though, man, that's really awesome to see, and just to see like the humbleness of it all. There's not a lot of people that have that, so that humility is amazing to see.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for that, brother. Absolutely, because I didn't want to be exalted anymore like I was back in the day, because when I was exalted, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Exalted and exhausted. Dude, we should all be rappers. We're coming up with some cool stuff.
Yeah, we got bars today, man.
We're talking a little bit about, about like the elections and stuff, and we came up with, it ain't about the red, it ain't about the blue, it's about the spirit that's in you.
Yes.
Bro,
Yes.
fire,
Bars.
right?
Amen.
Fire.
Bars. Straight up. That's a bar right there.
And, speaking of gratitude, being grateful that we have Vance, being grateful that we have my brother here with us today. I want to go on that a little bit, more going into this season, man. Like as far as gratitude goes, what would you say for a client that's coming in, somebody fresh off, like, look at somebody in your place, maybe brought up in a family that understanding recovery and faith and all of these things wasn't necessarily given to them. They're in that position to break that generational curse. What is something that you feel, I don't know if it's gratitude or that, what is something that you could give them?
I guess, honestly, for me, I would first tell them, be thankful that you're alive and have that gratitude that you're given an opportunity to be able to change.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just goes on to be thankful that you almost, in a sense, don't see yourself as the higher power in your own life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that becomes an issue is we think we become our higher power and we're control of everything that happens in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able to actually like step back and see that it's bigger than us and there's a huge picture, you should be able to hold gratitude and be thankful for that, because there's not a lot of people that have that. And even just coming in to get recovery, there's not a lot of people that have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So be thankful, be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is somebody out there who wishes they knew how to get help, but they don't. Or their insurance doesn't cover it. Or, you know what I mean? But they need the help, and there's nobody there to give them that. So that's what I would tell a brand new person coming in, is just be thankful that you're given this opportunity.
That's awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys
for coming through, bro. For real. I really appreciate it.
I greatly appreciate you guys.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it too, man. You were amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my brother Jesus.
Right.
Man, one more time.
Yes.
I'm just Zeus, man. Leave me alone.
Big Zeus. Oh, man. Yeah, thank you, bro, for coming. I want to wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, man.
Eat a lot of turkey.
Yeah,
All right.
always.
And don't be calling off on Friday. I'm going to call and check and make sure.
Oh, I don't work Friday.
Oh, okay.
so
You
it'll be
good.
fine,
You
bro.
stay home.
I'll
You
be
enjoy
fine.
that
I'll
turkey.
just be getting them turkey sandwich leftovers, bro. I'll be good. I'll be okay.
All right, man.
The only thing that I would need to happen is I need the Cowboys to win. That's it. I'll be fine.
You need the Cowboys
I
to
need
win.
the Cowboys.
Guess where the Broncos were born at?
Yeah.
In Dallas. Did you know that?
I did not.
All of the coaches for the Denver Broncos, when the Broncos started, all were Dallas Cowboy football players. I
Wow.
always tell everybody,
Yeah,
stay
I
loyal to your team, because we were born in Dallas.
Oh, I never knew that.
Weren't you a Dallas fan first?
Yes, I grew up a Dallas fan when I was a kid.
Oh, come on, Vance.
So guess what? We're on the same team, young man.
Let's go. Let's go. You guys hear that, Bronco fans? Just join America's team. Come on.
I like that.
Yep, yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, hey, man, I'm over here thinking of something. My brain is just somewhere else. I'm a Dolphins fan, but I'm like, yeah, no one cares.
Dolphins.
I tell everyone, stay loyal to your team. And I'm
All
going to tell
right.
you the reason why. And you can either edit this out or you can keep it in the ARCast.
No, you good?
But when you play in the NFL, you're playing against your teammates. Guess what? You want them to get cut so you can make the team.
Yeah.
You're competing against your teammates.
Yep.
Yep.
Your friends are on other teams all over the country in the NFL.
Ah.
Me being that former ball player, I'm telling you guys the truth. Some of my best friends were on other teams, and me and the Migos, the only way we got started is because we didn't even like each other. But I was watching the movie The Amigos one night, and I walked in Mark Jackson's room. We were roommates, and I was upset with him because he was friends with Ricky Natil, and so I cussed him out, and he said, Vance, what's wrong with you? I said, well, maybe we need to be the Three Amigos like that movie. He said, you know what, Vance? Maybe they might think three white guys would be three amigos, but not three Nick. I almost did it. I said, yes, they will. I said, yes, they will. I said, I'm going to blame it on John Elway.
I'm going to blame it.
And so the very next day, we had interviews, and I said, John Elway called me, Mark, and Ricky the Three Amigos. And they ran over to John and said, John, you called Vance and Ricky and Mark the Three Amigos? He said, what? No, maybe the three midgets. They all under 6 feet tall.
That's funny.
But it was on the front page the next day that Elway called me, Mark, and Ricky the Three Amigos, and that forced us to become friends.
Wow.
Yep. And you know
First
what?
time I put this on the ARCast,
And
brother,
check
but
this out.
everyone gets to hear it.
Check this out right
Ask
here.
Mark, and he'll validate it.
We're all on the same team, right?
Yes.
There's There's 3 of us.
Oh man,
Bro, just
There
blew
you
your
go.
mind. The 3
There you
amigos
go, man.
lost 3 amigos because we're
Lost.
Mexican. I throw that Mexican stuff in there.
Guess who the original 3? Guess who the original 3 amigos are?
That was there were
Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and
oh
God.
the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
The Holy
go.
Trinity.
That was the original 3 amigos.
I'm over here thinking Saturday Night Live. I'm like, what's the dude from Vegas Vacation? What the 3 amigos?
He's all like, Steve Martin, Martin.
All right, man. Well, much love, dude. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love
It's
you
always
too.
a blessing coming together. To all the listeners out there, much love. You guys have a beautiful evening, and God bless. Peace. What's going on, everybody? This is Buddha from the ARCast, and I just wanted to thank you for checking out this week's episode. It means a lot, and if you could share it with a friend or a loved one, somebody you need in recovery, or maybe somebody who just needs that little bit of extra positivity in their life, we'd greatly appreciate it. If you would like to join us here on the ARCast, either in the studio live or online, hit us up. The links are down in the show notes of this episode, and on there, you can find direct links to our main website here at Americas Rehab Campus and all of our social media platforms. Follow us. We keep the posts positive and motivational, focused on recovery, health, and wellness. As you know, in this modern day and age, we need as much love as possible, y'all. And as always, if you or somebody you know is in need of substance abuse treatment, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We're open 24 hours a day, and our direct phone number is 1-833-272-7342. Once again, that phone number is 1-833-272-7342. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. Much love and God bless. Peace.